would if I were lost.
I thought we were live. I just.
What are we doing with our lives?
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. I got my last.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Clickbait Sports. Man, oh man, do we have
And Scooter's frozen.
Yep,
a
Scooter
premium
is just-
wealth for you guys?
Man, do we have
That's clickbait. It's like, man, do we have?
and don't forget we did also have and following that, buckle up because then we have and that's our show today.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You guys know the deal by now, okay? We got Tom, we got 5 points, we got Tree, we got Scoots. This is Clickbait Sports, and ladies and gentlemen, the NFL, it is back, okay? We're in training camp. We're just going to be chopping it up about what we've seen thus far. I would love to start with, have any of you guys seen what Sean Payton has said?
Oh yeah.
I have not.
He's
yeah.
not
Love to
wrong.
hear this.
He's not wrong.
Okay. Tom, can you? I actually don't even know what he said. I've been trying
I
to
know
figure
all
out
about
what
it,
he said.
buddy.
Tom, can you break down the situation for us and let the chat know what is going on and where the shade is coming from?
Oh yeah. So Sean Payton, he did an interview recently. I think it was Jared Bell, if I'm not mistaken. He went on a podcast, had an interview with this guy, and basically he was asked about last season. And this was probably one of the most, because you, as we all know, coaches usually talking coach speak, right? It's very vague. Like they'll mention something. A lot of criticism is usually masked by either a bunch of compliments or what have you, right? So today, or it came out today, he said the following about last season. Everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite. There's so much dirt around that. There's 20 dirty hands for what was allowed, tolerated in the freaking training rooms, the meeting rooms, the offense. I don't know, Hackett. A lot of people had dirt on their hands. It wasn't just Russell. He didn't just flip. He still has it. This BS that he hit a wall, shoot, they couldn't get a play in. They were 29th in the league in pre-snap penalties on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or organization gets embarrassed, and that happened here. Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much effing time trying to win the offseason. The PR, the pomp and circumstance, marching people around and all this stuff, we're not doing any of that. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was. Like, damn.
I wish we had.
What's
I
your
wish we
instant
knew a
reaction?
Broncos fan that could weigh in on this. Like, I wish we
Mm-hmm.
knew like somebody that was like 5'3" or something and really ripped like that and a really good
How
beard.
tall is Brandon?
He's like
actually?
5'7". Would you
Okay.
give him 5'7" or 5'8", Tom?
I give him 5'8" because I love him.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
a
if
tall.
you really loved
5'9".
him, you give him 5'9".
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We'll talk about all this.
If he's saying this, if Sean Payton, who wasn't even there, is saying this, he must have known how bad it was. Like, and y'all remember Uche, bless his soul up in heaven. Love you, Uche. He would say that you could just tell when there were non-NFL coaches around the building. And that was what was happening in Denver last year. And those guys just weren't ready. And there's no more indicator of crappy coaching than penalties. Not just penalties of commission, but penalties of omission, which is a pre-snap penalty. So everything he said is spot on. I just agree with it. But it's so funny to hear something visceral like that and real come out of the current head coach who's just driving the bus back over his predecessors. I could see Russell Wilson having a big bounce back season with Sean Payton.
Well, so here's the thing. There's two sides of it also, because Billy Turner, who former Green Bay Packer, went back to the Broncos last year and now is on the Jets, where Hackett is the OC. He fired back against what Sean Payton said. And that was pretty interesting. I think he did it on Instagram. He said, seems like someone started training camp and is trying to soften the blow after realizing what he's in for this season. Effing bum. Hashtag Bountygate. Hashtag child.
Wow.
And then didn't Robert Saleh?
Yeah, the Robert Saleh, the head coach for the Jets. Yeah, he fired back too. Yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
So,
he came back and basically was like, if they're talking about us this much and we don't play them, I think until like week 5 or something. So yeah, it's getting spicy out here. But I am very curious to see. I mean, like, I think the Broncos are one of the biggest, I don't know, like unknowns of this year. Like, we're expecting a bounce back, but I think it also is all on Russell Wilson because they're gonna keep Sean Payton for the long term. Russ is not the long-term answer. So if he goes out there and he stinks it up, then they're gonna be like, no. But then again, if he's actually being coached by a great coach in Sean Payton, like you might see some vast improvement.
Russell Wilson's locked long term. Remember, he got signed to a big extension last year. So even if like he flames out and poo-poos the bed, like they're stuck with him. Like they can't just buy him out like that.
Well, they can. I mean, they can release him after this season.
Yeah, but it's going to be a huge dead cap hit. Like the only option would be like if they completely flame out and they get Caleb Williams. That's the only way I can see it.
Yeah. So here's my question to you guys. Do you take what Sean Payton says at face value, or do you think there's some gamesmanship involved, or is he literally speaking facts?
He's not wrong.
I'm going to go facts. Of course, Salah's got to defend his guy. That's his guy. Like, you could hate your girlfriend, but if someone talks bad about them, you're like, oh, you're not going to talk. You know, we're a team. And then you go back and like, man, she does kind of suck. That's what Salah is doing. That's what these coaches are doing that are defending their people because, yeah, you're not going to let people talk smack. But we saw the results last year. You saw how clueless they were. And we're not even in that locker room. We weren't even we had no idea what was really happening. But anyone with half a brain saw the results on the field and knew that Hackett was completely outmatched. That game that he lost 12-9 or whatever to the Colts, that was the most comedically bad game I have ever seen in my life.
And just it was a Thursday night game.
A clinic on mishandling how to coach and time management.
And not even that, like the first game against Seattle. Like he should have been fired after that game with how bad he mangled that clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a mix of a couple of things. So, like, when I went to Denver, I was kind of joking around. Like, when I walked in, I was like, all right, let's ride. And literally, like, people who work for the Broncos were like, we don't do that anymore. Like, we're not saying that. And I think it's funny. And I think this also shows how much power Sean Payton has, because you also have to look at their GM as well. Their GM made a huge move to go and get Russell Wilson and to go get Nathaniel Hackett. And one out of those two decisions, potentially two out of those two, blew up in their face. So now they hire Sean Payton, who doesn't even report directly to the GM. He reports directly to the owner now. It's brand new ownership. And Sean Payton kind of threw the Broncos under the bus too, because he said it's their fault as well, because they were trying to win the preseason and they were, and it was the let's ride and it was all that stuff. And he basically was like, nah, like this is different now. So Sean Payton is their guy. Like, for better or worse, he is going to be their guy. So I think that there's definitely going to be some bumps, but I think this Sean Payton is always going to be Sean Payton, but I think that he's speaking his mind because there are going to be no consequences for him for the foreseeable future. So he's like, no, like I have the reins. Like, let's go.
They are stuck.
I mean, they threw a lot of money at Sean Payton. They traded a first-round pick to get him. And also, you have to remember a lot of stuff coming out of Denver last year, too. You know, Russell Wilson always having his posse on the team and, like, in the locker rooms, the training rooms. Like, there was a lot of mess there. Oh, by the way, congratulations to whomever got that super chat.
Not me.
Are winning. It's not me. I think it's Scooter.
It's not me. It's not me.
Oh, you. Okay. Well, congratulations, Baldy.
I think I might be getting punished. By the way, quick segue.
Oh, no. You have to be punished. You poor thing. What's it been, like 9 months?
Yeah, I've had a baby's worth.
You had to paint a picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom, did you see Barbenheimer?
So I saw Oppenheimer. I literally could not get tickets to Barbie. Like it literally
What?
was sold out the entire weekend. So I got tickets to see Oppenheimer, and I'm going next week to go see Barbie.
It's a Barbie
Okay,
world.
Yeah.
that's fair.
So,
Speaking of spending money, some teams have spent a lot of money on some upcoming players. Who should we start with? Why don't we start with my player from my team, Trayvon Diggs. He just got paid a 5-year contract. Was this smart for the Cowboys to do? Let me start with the non-Cowboys fans first. Do you think it was smart for us to pay Diggs about $100 million, 45 of which is guaranteed? Smart or not smart?
I will weigh in. I think the guy can play. I mean, he occasionally gets burnt, but he's a no risk it, no biscuit, no risk it, or whatever, no risk it, no biscuit type of player. And he's going to come up with a lot of picks. He's going to improve in corner. That's the thing with corners. Like they age like wine. Like they get better the more time and experience they have in the league. And I think that's what Jarrah and Steven saw. So I don't hate the move. The one thing I want to talk about later is Zach Martin holding out, but we'll get to that. I'm teasing that a little bit for anybody that's watching right now. But I like the move. I don't hate it. As a hater of the Cowboys, I think the kid can play. He can play. So
Tom, you're smart.
I mean, Trayvon
over there. What do you have?
I mean, Trayvon Diggs literally kind of just replicated his rookie year last year. Like it was just literally like just about the same. I'm pretty sure he had the same amount of interceptions. Hold on. Yeah, he had 3 interceptions, which was the same as his rookie year. He even had the same pass defended, which was 14, by the way, which is really good. Like it is good. And he does get burnt. But I mean, that 1 year in 2021 where he was like insane, I don't know if he's ever going to get back to that kind of production. But I think he's a good player. I think you just paid him great money. And it's kind of just the hope that you can get that 2021 season back, but I think he's young enough that you could pull that off.
And not just that, you have to consider the salary cap's going to keep going up exponentially. So less than $20 million a year, that's going to be a bargain by the end of his contract if he develops as they hope. So that's what you have to consider with Diggs.
That's exactly where I'm coming in on this situation. To me, it might seem like a stark figure at first, but as time goes on and as that cap goes up, this is going to look like a steal. You pair him next to Stephon Gilmore as well for the next couple of seasons. I think you have a lockdown secondary. I'm excited. Tom, you're
lockdown.
And somebody said Cowboys fans were the 6th most intelligent fan base.
Can we talk about that
Diggs?
list?
Who's better? What secondary right now is better than Stephon and Diggs? Give me 5. You can't.
Did you say name 5?
The Dolphins, if Xavier and Jalen played a standard.
The Broncos? The Broncos
have a good one.
Yeah.
Their secondary is insanely good. The Packers, we don't have safeties, but our corners are pretty solid. We've got Jair Alexander. So, that's
all I'm saying is we're going to be up there.
The Eagles
have a good secondary. Yeah.
Speaking of the NFC East, though, another player did get paid in the NFC East. Your boy Saquon. 1 year he will be playing, no longer holding out 5 instant reaction. When you saw that he's playing for almost the exact same amount that he was last year.
So we talked about this on the dumpster fire last night. I feel bad for Saquon, right? He has done everything that you want a teammate to do. He has showed up for this team. He has been loyal. Yes, he got injured 2 out of the 4 years that he's been here. And that will give anyone pause that's handing out money, obviously. But he's done everything we've asked him to do. And he goes out and, they modify the franchise tender a little bit. They convert some of the money to a signing bonus, which kind of I guess they were just trying to get him some more guaranteed money. But he's done everything that has been asked of him. And this is the reward that he gets. Probably what I think is one of the most unfair things in sports, which is yes, it elevates you to the top 5 in salaries. And yes, it gets you paid. But it causes you to put your entire career on hold for a year. And it makes it it's unfair to the player to put them into such uncertainty when you could have just given him 2 years and an option or 3 years guaranteed. So I feel bad for Saquon. I know he's going to go out and have a productive year, and hopefully he stays healthy and gets the big contract or goes on to somewhere where he does get paid and gets what he deserves, because he's been an ideal Giant.
Here's the problem.
Go on, Tree.
Sorry. Here's the problem with that, though. We have shown repeatedly that paying running backs rarely works out in a team's favor. That's why they give them the franchise tag. That's why they don't get paid as much. That's why Saquon's only getting like an extra $900,000 in bonuses. It's because, for example, this guy, his owner paid Ezekiel Elliott a 6-year deal, $90 million. And nobody was saying that deal was any good, especially a couple years in. Le'Veon Bell, same thing with the Jets. And DeMarco Murray with the Eagles. That one flamed out hard. And the only one that's really panned out is Derrick Henry. And even then, there's worries about he may be showing his mileage too, just because of the way he plays. I mean, the thing with Saquon too, he's been injured 3 of the last 5 years. He had a really good year last year, but otherwise he hasn't really shown he can be consistent for 16 games a year. And that's why he's going to have trouble getting paid. Plus, with the franchise tag, you have to consider you had a chance to get rid of that in 2020, and they blew it. The NFLPA got spineless, and that's what happened.
Let me ask you something, Five.
Yes.
In your heart, do you believe Saquon will be back on the team next season? In your heart, what is your heart?
No.
Okay. No. So he's gone. This is it.
You can franchise tag him again, and he'll make $15 million.
Can you? Was that in his contract? Can you franchise tag him again?
You can, but then he elevates him again. I think
120% of a top salary.
Okay.
I think.
But if he's so good this year that you franchise tag him again, and clearly he set the precedent that he'll just sign and play, that ends up being better for him. It would have been the 2 years that he wanted, but it's just a lot of risk on his body. That which is 26 years old. I think he's a 26-year-old running back. Mm-hmm. That's risky in the NFL. It's like being an older adult film star. You're just going to hit a wall at some point.
Okay. You did you just gave a big contract extension to your number 1 wide receiver, Andrew Thomas. So you did give money to somebody. So that's good. That's a solid move.
That move I loved. I did not love the Andrew Thomas drafting. I wanted Mekhi Becton, and I will apologize and admit, unlike my ex-wife, I will admit when I am wrong, and I was so wrong. That was a dig right there. That was an uncalled for dig. And she's not even here to defend herself, but I will admit that I was wrong for the Andrew Thomas reaction. So
I do want to go back to running backs real quick, because before we start getting into injury talk, because there's a bunch of folks that get injured, including guys like Joe Burrow. But going back to the running back thing, so you had Jim Irsay on Twitter come out and say, and this was at 7:16 last night, saying NFL running back situation. We have negotiated a CBA that took years of effort and hard work and compromise in good faith by both sides. To say now that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling bad faith. Yeah, that's something. There was a lot of backlash to that, because it's anti-player and anti-running back, and that would be fine, except they also have Jonathan Taylor on their team, who, with
1 year left on his
expired
contract, and he's already voiced his displeasure with that statement. I don't know what would prompt Jim Irsay to say this, or what would prompt Jim Irsay to say a lot of the things that he says. I don't know if this is going to go over well with anyone that is a player.
That part's easy because Jim Irsay pretends he's a football genius. We saw this last year, and you lucked into Peyton Manning, and you had Bill Polian as your GM, and suddenly you think you're the God's gift to the gridiron. That's Jim Irsay, and
he hired Jeff Saturday off his couch.
Well, as I said, he wanted a yes man. He got a yes man. That is what it is.
I met him. He was nice.
You met Jeff Saturday? He looks like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's probably not a bad person. It's just he wasn't qualified to be an NFL head coach.
I'm not a bad person.
He said he watched my videos, so I like him.
He did? Oh.
Yeah.
So then you dapped him up, you hugged him, and you were just like, thank you, Jeff Saturday. Unlike when you met Ryan Higa. Different story.
Yeah, that was way different. Way different.
Let's talk about injuries because, good God, there are a lot. So we'll talk about the most pressing one at the moment, and that is Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow went down after a no contact play, and he was rolling out to his right, and it's said to be his calf. Now, Schefter came out and said it was a calf strain, but then also that hasn't been officially announced, which is what I saw Ari tweeted out. So basically, he has a calf injury. So it looks like, at least you hope, that he avoided things like his Achilles and stuff like that. But yeah, terrifying moment for the NFL and especially Bengals fans because big yikes. You do not want to see that because with football being back, of course, you're going to start to see more and more of these stories.
And this is early. We're just getting started. I saw Donovan Wilson went down. He was carted off the field day one. And luckily, that's a calf strain, 4 to 6 weeks. But are we thinking this is something or nothing that all of these injuries are happening, or this is just, hey, this is a violent sport. This is the nature of the game?
I think it's just the inevitability of going full speed at camp and coming in cold. I know usually it takes a while for the body to readjust itself to full speed play. And unfortunately, off-season training and mini camp doesn't really get you into that full speed. Training camp is balls to the wall, nonstop, a lot of movement, twitching. And that's where, unfortunately, a lot of these injuries are coming from. Not just Joe Burrow. Jalen Ramsey was also carted off the field, but apparently he might be okay. But once again, it's just like with off-season training camp, stuff like that, all you can do is just roll a dice. That's all it is.
I just see – oh, go ahead.
Chauncey Gardner as well went down with the injury.
And it was fortunately a minor injury, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, so these guys –
Kadarius Toney, he's injured too.
Yep, Jalen Ramsey got carted off today. Garrett Wilson hurt his ankle today.
Yeah, these carts are super precautionary.
Yep.
They don't want them obviously it's not in the middle of a game where they're just suck it up. We'll give you some Toradol and you'll be out there. These carts are really, they have the time to pull up a cart and put them on there and just take them right to the training room until someone tears something or anything like that. You could put a bunch of athletes just stretching around each other and someone's going to pull something. So these are precautions and things that I think aren't as serious, but until there's a major announcement where someone's just done for the season because they turned the wrong way. The one thing that always blows my mind though is that these guys, it's their job to be in shape and they work out and they're professionals and they know how to stretch. They know how to get in shape. They know how to get ready for a workout and injuries still occur. That's how freakish and accidental these things are.
And there's nothing you can do about it because once again, as you said, these guys are at the peak of athletic performance. And if your body's cold and not ready for that movement and motion, and there's nothing that really can prepare you for it, you're still going to have the risk of injury in that regard. It's just the way the human body's built.
Yeah.
If we went to training camp, we would probably injure stuff too, just because of the way the intensity of it.
Because of how hot it is outside.
Yes.
Yeah, it is really hot. There's probably cramping.
That's going to be something for NFL season 2. It's getting hotter outside, and the heat wave it's going to be interesting to see how it affects domed versus non-domed teams like Miami. Home games at Miami, that's going to be
what happened to Buffalo last year. Literally, that happened to Buffalo last year. They came to Miami early in the season, and they were gassed.
There were a lot of injuries in that game, a lot of exhaustion, a lot of cramping, a lot of people went on IR for both teams that game.
The worst thing about that is, again, you can prepare. You can hydrate the night before. You can take electrolytes. Until you're out there in the heat, heat
playing a football game.
And not just that, it's humidity too.
It will take it out of you. And you really kind of have to monitor your water intake too when you're out there, because you can have water intoxication where you overhydrate and that can actually kill you too. So it's such a delicate thing to do athletics in the heat and to be a peak performance athlete out there. It's scary. It's always fun, but it is scary to participate in a sport in the heat.
Don't worry.
I want to go back for 1 second because we did miss a prominent player who signed for big money, and that would be Justin Herbert. Okay, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. I don't have the exact details of the contract, Let me pull that up right
It's
now.
about $50 million a season.
Yeah, it's
5-year.
Yeah.
5-year contract. Okay, so what are we thinking on this 5-year contract for Justin Herbert? Deserved or not? Because all these people coming at Dak for playoff wins, where's the wins for Justin Herbert? That's all I'm saying.
Justin Herbert's also on his like rookie deal, so
Yeah.
I think that this is obviously you would like to see more results, but that's not also all on Herbert either. Like I think that they're going to be better with Kellen Moore because Lombardi's not there anymore. I think they're automatically going to be better. And two, like maybe giving Herbert a little bit of protection and, not having him get mauled back there is going to help as well. I just think that Herbert is their best chance to win, and it's very rare to get a franchise quarterback nowadays. So when you have one, you lock them in as long as humanly possible. So yeah, and it's similar to what we're talking about. Like Joe Burrow, like that contract is going to beat Justin Herbert's. He's going to be the highest paid quarterback. And then they're going to restructure Patrick Mahomes at some point too, because he's getting paid less. I think he's getting paid like third in his division because behind Russell Wilson and behind Justin Herbert.
And remember when he signed that contract? That was insane.
It was the biggest contract ever.
$1 billion. Yeah. It was literally freaking $500 million, but it was like 10 years. He might be.
You think we will see $1 billion contract in our lifetime?
Give it about 20 years if they keep growing like that. Oh, yeah.
A 10-year, 100
but it
per.
will be in the Saudi, one of the Saudi leagues.
The Saudi NFL league.
Dude, they're already nearly there, right?
SFL,
like Mbappe, didn't they offer him like 700 something mil, and then
they turned it down.
They did offer $1 billion, but the transfer fee was about 344. So they were going to have to, but he turned it down.
They offered the same for Messi too.
Yeah, Messi was a lot.
$1
Yeah,
that's
Miami's
crazy that you can just throw $1 billion. That's $1,000 million.
Can you give the show $1 billion?
Yes.
Saudi.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Have you guys been watching?
Give us some money.
Have you guys been watching the show on Netflix?
Say $1,000 million?
Yes, it's $1,000 million. That's $1 billion.
Yeah, that's $1 billion.
Yeah.
1,000 million is $1 billion.
You could spend one of those 1,000, and it'd be nothing. It's like you have $1,000 million, and you can just.
Have you guys been watching the quarterback show on Netflix?
I am not allowed to use my ex-wife's Netflix password, so no.
That's fair. All I know is
you said such nice things about her earlier.
No, it's not her fault. It's Netflix's fault. I would not tell her that.
All I know is that Dak has turned down season 2 because he said, "quote I get enough press as it is. Get enough press already."
Well,
let's go to training camp. What are you seeing in your training camps? Do you have a pet cat yet? Who's the guy that no one knows about that you're hoping and wishing is the next big thing? I'll start. Jalen Moreno Cropper. Okay, this guy, he's a rookie out of Fresno State, undrafted, fast, speed burner, had some impressive catches in the first game of training camp. Also, Deuce Vaughn, running back, he is 5'5". He might be shorter than Brandon, literally, out of K-State. He's been tearing it up so far. So what about you guys? What are you seeing in camp? Someone just commented Brandon Cooks was getting clamped by Stephon Gilmore. I'm trying to tell you the cornerbacks are going to be elite for Dallas this year. But what are you guys seeing at your camp thus far?
Tree.
I mean, I don't really try to pay attention to camp performances because, mostly it's camp. It's non-game situation. You'll get guys that have those surprise performances, but it's day 1, day 2. You're not going to get a real gauge on how great somebody is in camp
until a couple
weeks.
Yeah, but
a couple weeks. Usually a couple weeks, you get a couple preseason games. That's when you usually get it.
Is there anyone you're looking forward to, though, on the Steelers roster where you're just like, hey, if this guy has a big year, we're going to have a big year?
Oh, obviously it's George Pickens, Kenny Pickett. Those are the two big ones.
The picks.
Yeah, Pickett's going to be the big one, obviously, because, Pickett usually is the difference between 8 or 9 wins or division. Yeah. So that's the key. Optimally would be division. I doubt that happens, but, I'm hoping for a nice jump from him.
Yeah. My guy is Wan'Dale Robinson for the New York Football Giants. Like, I need him to have a productive season. They basically said, hey, we're going to stick with you and your Brandon Perna size. We got rid of Kadarius Toney because he was a malcontent, and we drafted you and Jalen Hyatt to see if we can replace Kenny Galladay's lack of production. Jalen Hyatt has the easiest job on earth. He's just like, oh, all I have to do is be seen on the field, and I'm better than Kenny Galladay. And then Wan'Dale is the other piece, like, can he be the safety valve? Can the receiver show up so that we don't have to rely on Saquon Barkley?
How many receivers do you have? Because as I was editing and researching the Giants video, y'all have 27,000 receivers.
Yeah, we have Slayton.
What is going on?
We have Sterling Shepard, which I was surprised that we brought back.
Who's wide receiver one for you guys?
Oh gosh, I would. There's no one. That's the problem. There's no one. Like
Hodgins.
What's that?
Hodgins, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Hodgins is not a big body receiver, so like it could be Hyatt from day one because he's 6'3", I think. He's a tall, slender receiver. He was the kind of guy that I wanted. So
not.
but the Giants have a bunch of 2s and 3s, so someone will have to emerge. But again, that's why I'm kind of annoyed with this offense, because Daboll runs that kind of Lamar Jackson-esque offense where it's based around the running back. It's based around the tight ends getting open. It's based around the X and the Y receivers, not really necessarily the A or the B. So it's going to be an interesting offense, but as a fan, you want your offense to be completely balanced, and it's not. It's a Daniel Jones either run it, Saquon either run it, or will somebody open somewhere.
But like that also is like the perfect case study, right? Because we talk about what running backs mean to their team and like how much Saquon means to the Giants, and they really have unknowns at receiver, but they're still like, yeah, we're still not going to give him a major contract. It's not going to happen.
Because
like that's how bad the market is.
Well, the GM is smart. It's like selling a house. No one's going to buy it for over what it's worth.
Doing all the research, today. I can tell you that Giants fans are all in on Daniel Jones. They love this man for whatever reason, and they believe they're sold. 5 might not be. But everyone else is.
All right. It's not like Eli. So after Eli Manning won a Super Bowl in his 4th year, everyone bought into Eli Manning. Daniel Jones won 1 playoff game, okay? And it took him 4 years to do so.
And against an extremely overrated Minnesota team that was primed to be smacked.
They're
to his credit. To his credit, yes, we are, supporting Daniel Jones because he's on the up and up. But if it's a 4-win campaign, it's like, Daniel Jones, pack your stuff up. We'll cut your ass. And we'll start over. That's how it is. But I think the Giants are going to be good.
About Packers camp. So that's Jaden Reed, one of the wide receivers that we drafted this year, and apparently they're utilizing him all over the offense. Shout out to Big B for getting that footage. The Packers are going to snipe him because you're not allowed to take footage of practice. But I'm very, very excited. The tight ends that we drafted, I'm excited for them the following year because it is very rare that tight ends make a big splash their first year in the NFL because they need to learn so much. The first day of training camp, they got destroyed in their blocking schemes. So I'm excited just what kind of offense they're going to utilize. We have a lot of speedsters. So I would not be surprised. You're going to see a ton of jet sweeps and a ton of creative ways to run the ball.
Yeah, and you're going to try to mitigate putting the game on Jordan Love. That's
which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the Packers without Aaron Rodgers because this is something that I was thinking about. I used to hate the Packers primarily because of Aaron Rodgers. I don't hate the Packers as much now. Aaron Rodgers isn't there. Same thing can be said for the Patriots and Tom Brady. I don't really hate the Patriots that much anymore. Tom Brady's not there anymore. Bill Belichick might not even be there anymore. Who knows? My question to you guys is this. What team not in your division do you dislike the most? Who is that team now? Because I can't even think of one.
Oh, like
maybe 49ers, but it's not like I dislike the 49ers that much.
Listen, if the Chiefs go out and win another Super Bowl, I'm gonna start to get annoyed with them. Like the Chiefs fans are gonna start becoming obnoxious. Cole's already kind of getting obnoxious from how about them Chiefs? Like if the Chiefs go out and win another Super Bowl, it's gonna be like, all right, we get it. Okay, we get it. Now, can they? Yes. Patrick Mahomes, like I kind of dig him, but some fan bases make Tom Brady when he won his first 3, you're like, all right, that's enough. And then he won 3 more, and you're like, come on, really? And I could see that happening with the Chiefs.
That's fair. I'm not there yet. Like they're not at the
Warriors
level,
right?
And you're like, okay, the Warriors, they've won so many. Someone else can win now. They're not there yet for me. Also, if there is someone that can dethrone Tom Brady as the GOAT, it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm down for that. I am down for that. Hopefully not all on Kansas City. Maybe he gets moved somewhere else, but it looks like he might be a Kansas City lifer. We'll see. What about you, Tom?
The Chiefs don't bother me, though. I mean, like, because they're interesting to watch. Like, watching the Patriots, like, win all their Super Bowls, a lot of those games were boring as hell. Like, their style of football was just boring. And, like, again, it was just because their defenses were amazing. And I have no problem with defensive football. But, like, Brady wasn't doing godlike things where you're like, oh, my God, how did he do that? He was very quick in the pocket. He had a very quick release. But, like, Patrick Mahomes, it feels like he does insane things every single season / postseason. So as long as they continue to be entertaining to watch, I don't mind it. On top of that, they're in the AFC. So, like, we rarely play the Chiefs. So, like, they don't bother me as much. Now, that being said, the Seahawks always will bother. They were nice to me, though, during 30 and 30. It really messed with me, like, really, really bad. I hate them, though. I hate their team because they've hurt me so many times. Yeah, because you have the Fail Mary, and then you have the NFC Championship game where, there was that. But, yeah, I'm thinking, like, I don't know, though, if they're the most anymore. I have to think about that.
So it's an intriguing question. Yeah. What about you, Tree? Team you hate most, not in your division.
Oh, I can only imagine Chargers. I can only imagine.
Chargers, that's more because of Spanos more than anything. Like, it's not really the team itself I have a problem with. I'd say, like, the frustrating part with the Chargers is that they just aggravate me because they don't play up to potential. I would say a team that aggravates me the most. Oh, dude, shoot. I mean, I would probably say maybe the Dallas Cowboys.
See, but
the problem is, like, it's just like they just keep talking smack and just. Yeah. They're one of our bigger rivals, especially from the 70s.
Don't be mad that this is our year, Tree. Why are you mad that this is our
honestly,
year?
brother, I bet you anything the Steelers end up having a better record than the Cowboys.
Together.
Let's be real.
This is
who has a better record
year.
Who has a better record this year? The Steelers
Tree
or the
literally
Cowboys?
just said Steelers better record than the Cowboys. You guys should bet on that.
How much do you
should
want?
Make a bet.
Let's
go.
Let's
go. Let me get the hold on. Let me get the notebook out.
Do you want Tree? Ain't no way.
All right.
Ain't no.
Tell you what, let's do it like this. If the Cowboys have a worse record than the Steelers, you have to show up one of these weeks as a diehard Steelers fan.
Oh, that's easy.
I'm trying to think.
No, it's too easy, Tree.
That's too easy. Yeah,
I think you should mail him a Pittsburgher, right? Like
I could probably deliver.
Manti Brothers.
Even if y'all had the easiest schedule in the league, y'all are not outperforming the Cowboys this year. We're winning the NFC East.
You should.
Didn't you say that in 2021?
We're winning the NFC East. The only way we don't go far and win the Super Bowl this year is injuries. Okay, that's it.
There is no. You don't even believe what you're saying right now. Look at your face. You don't
Zach Martin doesn't sound.
Scooter. I am one of the most pessimistic people on this platform, and I'm saying this. Come on, man.
We're going to sign Zach Martin. Okay, he needs to get paid. He's the best guard literally in the league. First ballot Hall of Famer. Zach, he's going to get paid. We're going to sign him. Now, we have the pieces. Everything is. We got the receivers for Dak.
You got the head coach?
that could be our downfall. That could be the only downfall.
We got everything. One thing. All right, maybe we don't have everything.
One very important thing. One extremely.
I mean, he's won it before,
thing.
right? He's
Your
won it
faith?
before.
Yeah, I mean, he was literally
Aaron
piggybacking off
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers that he
Right.
has knees and shin damage.
Right.
He's won
Let's
it
be real.
before. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If you've done it once, you can do
2011. It was 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Listen, that means it's time. That means it's time.
It's time.
Out of
man.
all
Yeah,
the teams here,
Hold on.
I mean,
just
the
wanna back
Steelers
up.
won a Super Bowl
out of
like
all the
14
teams
years ago.
here,
Is it
the
time for us?
Cowboys will
No.
go the furthest. I guarantee that.
Uh-huh.
I guarantee that.
Ooh.
Out of all the teams here, including the Broncos, the Cowboys will go the furthest.
See, like, I don't even think that that's too much. Like, that's not like a huge bet, though. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
like, rebuilding because we don't know what we have. Like, Tree, like, they're trying to still figure out if Kenny Pickett is the guy.
Giants. I mean, the Giants are playoffs or bust again. Like they're
Yeah.
back to back. Like they need to improve upon what they did. Like they need to get to the division round. You know what I mean? Or the championship.
The NFC Championship
Sunday.
game.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate goal. That would be a
There's
very
no
successful
way that
season.
you're so Scooter. Like, legitimately, you think you're winning the Super Bowl this year?
Yes. Think about it.
So, like,
Our run defense
even
has been
if you got there, let's just go down fantasy land for a second.
let's go
Even
down
if you
realistic
got
land.
there, right?
Okay.
Because the NFC is pretty weak, so like maybe there's an outside chance you do. You think you're beating whoever is representing the AFC, whoever's
I
gone
think
through that
we're
gauntlet
beating the
of the
Bengals.
Chiefs,
Yes, I think we're
Bengals,
beating the Bengals.
Bills.
I think we're beating the Bills. Josh Allen is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. Put his stats up to Dak. Dak wins out. That's all I'm saying. He is overrated.
Wolf.
I don't understand the hype on Josh Allen. Joe Burrow, I get it. I think the Cowboys
What
could
about
beat
Patrick Mahomes? You haven't even mentioned Mahomes. You think
listen,
that the
don't-
Cowboys
listen.
could beat the Chiefs in a neutral site game?
Let me ask you something. Did the Chiefs go undefeated last year?
No,
No,
but
they won the
freaking
Super Bowl.
It's
But did
very
they
hard
go-
to go
But
undefeated.
did they go undefeated?
It's very hard to go
so
undefeated.
they lost, is what you're saying.
Oh my
Rams
God, the
didn't win a
Cowboys
single
lost
game
too.
in November and still won the Super Bowl.
Any given Sunday.
All right, Scooter,
That's
let's
all
back
I'm
up.
saying.
Let's back
The
up.
Cowboys
Scooter, I
have
think-
Hold on.
all
Scooter,
of
I-
the pieces. What? Okay, how about
Hold on,
this?
hold on, hold on, Scooter.
Instead of you
I just-
attacking me, tell
I'm not
me what
attacking.
pieces we don't have.
I want
Tell me what
no.
we don't have.
A head
Before we get
coach,
to
an
that-
owner,
That's what I'm
a
saying.
quarterback who can perform in the
Okay, that's
clutch,
That's fair. We don't have
backup
a
running
we don't have the
back.
head coach is suspect.
You don't have
Backup
starting
running back. We have
guard.
9 running backs.
Starting guard. You don't
We
have.
do have 9 running backs.
Um,
Pollard's hurt, right? He's coming off an injury.
Yeah, Paul.
Here's the thing.
He's
Here's
looking
the thing.
explosive.
Scooter, you
Yeah.
are the biggest Dallas Cowboys honk
I see it.
I've ever
I see it.
seen.
I'm literally going to start
You-
editing the
hold
video
on.
right now for
Hold
us
on.
winning this. I'm putting the montage of all the
you're
tweets.
saying you're
right now.
saying you're saying
Y'all think
that,
I'm dead serious.
that
Sure.
you can that you're going to win the Super Bowl, but as soon as you are the most overconfident Cowboys fan, as soon as we bring up the coach, ScooterMagruder paused and had no faith.
Yeah, because
Scooter
he's suspect. That's all I'm
Magruder.
saying. He is
Okay.
suspect.
You know,
He's won though.
big-
He's won.
a big piece, and you are just choosing to have cognitive dissonance.
No.
To Mike McCarthy. You know what he is capable of. He is capable of putting Ezekiel Elliott at center on the last play of the game.
That was actually Kellen Moore.
That was Kellen.
Oh,
Moore,
well,
and he's
whatever.
not on
He
the
agreed
team
to it. He's the
He's
head
not on
coach.
the team anymore.
He's the head
That's
coach.
why we had to get rid of Kellen Moore for doing
Mhm.
egregious actions like this.
He agreed to let Dak Prescott sneak the ball up the middle with 11 seconds left. All
That
these
would have
things,
worked. That almost worked. We
It
just
almost
poor
worked.
execution.
It didn't.
Poor execution.
For execution. No, he didn't go
Tough
fast
times,
enough.
friends.
He
Are there
slid-
Good
any
luck with
other-
Mike McCarthy. Who is a coach that you could have that you wouldn't be as normal as sus?
I
about?
wanted us
Like,
to get Sean Payton.
well,
That's
yeah,
what I wanted.
that.
They weren't going to do that.
We'll
Jerry Jones loves his. Mike
Why is
McCarthy
this year
too much.
different? We have all the pieces this
Miss
year.
Perna.
Justin Ziegler, we have all the pieces this year. Last year, we were trying to go into the playoffs with one of the worst receiver cores out there. Michael Gallup wasn't fully healed. He's fully healed now. You go and get Amari Cooper's replacement, who we should have never let go, Brandon Cooks. We have explosive offensive weapons for Dak now.
Diarrhea.
The run
Diarrhea.
defense,
No.
way better. the Eagles were gashing us up the middle. Try doing that this year. We go out and we get Stephon Gilmore. That's why this year is different. Mike is going to be on the edge every single play. Put it up there. That's all I'm saying. Josh Allen is overrated. I don't care what you say to me.
Honestly, the only explosion you're going to get is from KO Pectate.
All right, let's look at TDs to INTs.
Okay, so he's played 20 more games.
So look at averages.
And
that's how that
Josh
works.
Allen here, right?
So let's look at averages.
Wow. Go ahead.
No. So I was going to say the average, so Dak has him by 0.4 here, right? The yards, he has a little bit more in yards as well. And then interceptions, like that's the thing with Josh, right? Like he throws a bunch of interceptions.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to remember, like Josh Allen played like shit in his first 2 years.
Yes, he also was injured last year too. Like he was.
Exactly. Like he wasn't the same. That's what you have to consider with Josh Allen.
Are we talking about injuries? Do y'all not remember Dak getting?
Damn, who just got
what are we talking about?
Yeah, he got injured in 2020. That's why you paid him the big bucks.
It's for Scooter. Scooter's going to get punished.
Oh my gosh. Can I donate money?
Good job, Shadow.
No, you cannot. We've told you this before, Scooter. You can't do it.
Dang it. Can we just end the...
We're not done.
Just...
Yeah, we're looking at stats. All right. Numbers-wise, Dak is better.
So, I mean, in terms of rushing, like a complete quarterback, Josh obviously is a bigger threat in the run game, like significantly more. But
sure.
Yeah, I think that, Dak, I think, is a very underrated QB. I think he's a top 10 QB. I think that he commands a really good offense. Now, I will say that doesn't mean that he's phenomenal. I think that there are questions about like his clutchness, and I think there are other questions, but I think
his clutchness. Look, Dak is one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the league. You can literally look this stat up. You can look that he's led the most comebacks out of all the QBs in the league. What are we talking about?
My dude, when it comes to the playoffs, Dak does not always play the greatest.
Yeah, okay. He kind of pooed the bed against San Fran.
He did poo-poo. But so did Josh Allen.
I'm not so like here's the thing, Scooter. Like you're putting so much emphasis on regular season. And like years ago, and I mentioned this before, the Rams didn't win a single game in November and they won the Super Bowl. So like, as long as you get to the playoffs, like then after that, it doesn't matter. Like the Chiefs can struggle. They could do all this stuff. They still won the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. You need a team, which is a complete team that is going to be able to be clutch for those 3 to 4 games in the postseason to win a Super Bowl.
All I'm saying is this. Josh Allen is garbage. That's all I'm saying. Okay, he's not garbage.
No, he's gone from overrated to garbage. Oh my God.
He's not garbage.
He's gone from overrated to garbage in one show.
That's all I'm saying. He's overrated.
The countdown and Johnny Bart, fire up the clip machine.
What
Johnny
has
Bart.
Josh Allen done? Can anyone on here tell me what Josh Allen?
The 2 AFC championships.
I mean, he's been an all-pro. He's been AFC championship.
Who cares?
Games.
That's the whole Bills.
Well, Dak has never been to a championship game.
Who cares? Who
cares? They have the same amount of Super Bowls. They have the same Super Bowls. The Bills have never won a Super Bowl. They've been to 4. Who cares?
So would you rather have Josh Allen or Black Kirk Cousins?
Josh Allen didn't take him to 4 Super Bowls. What are we talking about, Scooter? That's perfect.
Saying, figure out what we're talking
Figure
about.
it out. All right. What we're talking about. I'm just saying,
everyone likes to crap on Dak, but you put his stats up, he's right there, better than Josh Allen.
That much.
Yes, they do.
I don't personally, as a Giants fan.
Put his stats up. Better than Josh Allen. You literally just saw his stats are better than Josh Allen. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear
Nathan Peterman's
numbers
better quarterback than both of them.
Yeah.
We're done.
Can we do the countdown? I got a baseball game to go to.
I need to take some ibuprofen for this migraine I've got.
I'm tired.
From listening to Scooter?
Yeah, that's right. Definitely was an episode of Clickbait Sports today. You know it. 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 4. The amount of Super Bowls the Bills have been to, apparently with Josh Allen, because that's the kind of argument that Scooter's making, but we don't even know anymore because Scooter's just yelling things. He's a hot machine.
I'm a Barbie
just yelling, Cowboys go Super Bowl every single year, but he actually means it It's crazy.
You can comb my hair.
We could make the Super Bowl like
Undress me
legitimately.
everywhere.
There's, like, oh my god! Like,
Fantastic.
is it like? Here's the thing. I'm not even shutting you down.
Oh god
here.
damn it!
It's possible for you to for the Cowboys to make.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not all you're saying.
That's all.
You're literally saying. Oh god. Oh no. Who was that?
It's not me. It's not me. Thanks the Lord.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not me. Let's
Yes. 226.96. Let's go.
I am 112.88. I lose. Thanks the Lord. Hallelujah.
go. 202.78. Tom Grossi doesn't win. Let's go, baby.
Hey, I don't win. 5. Bald man.
So 5.
What do you got?
$352.
Let's go. Let's go. I
Well
will have
done.
my punishment. Hopefully next week I'll be dressing up as an Eagle stream on TikTok.
I think your punishment should be go
my
get
gosh.
some new internet, like upgrade to Fire.
Well, I will.
whatever.
That's the whole point. The whole
Yeah.
point. I wasn't even supposed to be in this room this week, but I didn't have time to move everything over.
Oh gosh, what are y'all gonna make me do for this $350? Having my ex-wife on the show, not gonna happen. Okay?
Well, I was just
That
going to
is
say, have you
not-
live your pathetic, miserable existence, but that's a little too much of a punishment.
I say, all right. So 5. Are you streaming a game this season? Like, are you going to do live streams?
I should be doing the Giants games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first Giants game you do, you have to go out and get an actual toupee and wear it the entire stream.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Better than mine.
Like, it can't be like a wig you buy off at. Like, you have to go get a toupee and like you have to wear it for the entire stream.
I can't just do that on an episode of Clickbait. Like
Nope.
I
No.
have to do it for a Giants reaction.
And-
stream? That
and
is
You
jacked.
cannot comment about it. If someone asks you,
It's gotta be like, this is totally normal. Totally normal.
you can't say no responses at all.
I like that one. Just be like, what's up, guys? Yeah, I'm
Do you know
30.
that? Do you know that they have toupees that they take glue. That's
Yeah, they take the glue and they like, yep.
and they dab it on there with like a brush and then they glue it to your. There's
Yeah.
actually one they surgically implant little snaps on your head and then you snap the toupee down onto your head and you're just like, oh, wow. Mhm.
I like the toupee idea.
What
All
do
right,
you guys
fine,
have
I
coming
guess.
out?
All right.
That's
We're
fine.
good with that?
I'll get a toupee. All right.
Mhm.
All right.
Go.
This is
That's fine.
for a punishment to be named later. This
I released a
Carl
future of
Lindsay.
sports media video today that I was really happy with.
Oh, a little ESPN kind of deal.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's not like because there's a bunch of people who do
Cash it in.
ESPN stuff, but it's more of just
Right.
kind of like where sports media is going.
Got you.
Mhm.
It's going our way. Is what
It's
it
going right to Tom Grossi. It's going to roll
Yeah.
over us all someday.
That's fair.
I released a video on does trash talk actually affect NFL
does.
games, and it is tanking. So
What?
everyone that is here, go watch it. Thank you. Love y'all.
I just put out Commanders fans before the season and Giants fans before the season. We got a Spurs fans after the season video coming out. Cowboys fans before the season coming out. All I'm saying is like we can win the Super Bowl. That's all I've been saying this whole time. That's
Yeah, Steelers can also win the Super Bowl.
no, they can't. They cannot. The
Uh-huh.
Cowboys.
Yeah, the
have
Cowboys can, but the
76%
Steelers can't.
chance.
Dude, the Texans could win the Super Bowl.
Well,
That's
the
week
Texans
one
cannot.
for you.
The Cowboys literally have a 76%
It's 0-0.
chance
Anyone can win,
of
baby.
winning the Super Bowl. That's all
How
I'm saying.
funny would it be if like the Cowboys do so well and they're like the second seed and they get bounced in the wild card by some like
It'd
the
be
Falcons?
amazing. It'd
I
be
like the
amazing.
Falcons. Who
I wish I had
The
the
Falcons.
That would not. That would be
Falcons.
depressing, not funny. That
It'd
would
be
depressing.
awesome, man.
But
You
it's
would be
not going to
so
happen
excited.
because the Cowboys have all the pieces
That
this
would
year.
just be,
They do.
that would just
No.
be the 24%
Yeah.
that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah.
a 76% chance of winning the Super Bowl this year. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
3/4.
The Cowboys have enough pieces to get a 24-piece chicken
3/4.
McNugget meal from McDonald's.
Yes, they
That's
do.
what they have.
All right. I got to go to a men's league game. It's my last of the season. Love
Do
y'all.
what you gotta do. Well,
See you
all
later.
right, you have fun, Five.
Tree, you got anything coming
Yeah.
out?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Dan Snyder, Legacy of Failure. I'm still working on that one, so it should be out in a few days.
He will be
hopefully.
missed.
He
He
will
will
not
not
be
be
missed.
Okay.
Anyway.
Clickbait. Tom Grossi.
End
Clickbait.
it.
5 point.
Later.
Scooter.
Are we
Tree.
really clickbaiting?
Oh,
Does
here
he
we
still
go.
really
Real
have the
quick.
right to
Production,
exist?
get it.
All right. End it.
Right.
Bro,
So you didn't throw it all.
7 of these were
How
tipped.
quick?